guys, Lori Starkey here. So good to see you, whether you're new or returning to this crazed place where there's diet food being thrown every which way. Greasy diet food being thrown every place. I'm certainly glad that you're here. I know you could be somewhere else or doing anything else. So thanks so much for a little bit of your time. I sure do appreciate it. I am on a ketogenic lifestyle, and so I thought it'd be really fun to vlog about that. Plus I'm a serial entrepreneur, so we have a lot of businesses that are going on at the same time, and I thought that might be fun too. Maybe you could use a little bit of inspiration or a great recipe, or we could just become friends through a community. That would be super awesome too. This last week has been super busy with the restaurant. We have about 3.5 to 4 weeks before we open, so we've been hustling every which way, cleaning equipment, trying to power wash the front, trying to get the last bit of the information to the code department at the city so that we can get cleared. Plus, I've published my brother's book this week. I'm a book publisher as well as a writer, so I've been writing every day. So it's been kind of crazy, but I've made time to do my videos and to talk to you guys and to create some new recipes, which the family has loved. My husband and my son's 14, Clayton, they are not on the keto lifestyle with me, but they cheer me on and they're really excited to try all the dishes, because who wouldn't be, right? They just get to eat all the yeasty fun that from the bakery too that I make. But my middle daughter, Allison, she's 20 and she is doing it with me. So it's been kind of nice to have a buddy who works out with me every day and does these different recipes with me and taste stuff when it's good and when it's not so good too. So I'm just gonna kick right into my week 2 in review. This is the start of week 3 for me, so I've got some different tips and tricks and notes and all kinds of good information from week 2 that I kind of wanted to share with you guys. I did lose some more weight this week, and I will tell you that week 2 is always the hardest week for me on any nutrition plan or any lifestyle change. Week 2 is always the worst. Week 1, I'm gung-ho, I'm trying new things, I'm excited, I know my water weight's about to drop, so like I'm in it to win it. Week 2, I'm like, why did the scale not move? Why do I feel like crap? The keto flu usually hits, which it has not this time, thank goodness, because usually it's terrible for me, but it has not hit at all this time. And the keto flu literally just feels like you're in the middle of the flu, which is never good in the middle of the pandemic that we have going on. So, but I did not have it this time. I just skimmed right on through it, but I have been drinking exogenous ketones, which have helped tremendously with my energy level, as well as just feeling better and not having to hit that keto flu. I've also kept my electrolytes up. That's helped tremendously. But I did lose some weight this week, which I was a little shocked by. I wasn't really sure what to expect there. So week 2 has not been the hardest ever, even though I kind of walked into it with the expectation like, all right, kid, this is your make it or break it week. What you gonna do? So I have been doing also Beachbody's Morning Meltdown, the 100 Morning Meltdowns. Jericho is the trainer for that one. She's super cute and funny and fun, and I love doing them. They're just hard as hell, legit. So I did Monday through Friday last week, and then Allison's not feeling so well, so she couldn't do Saturday or Sunday, which was perfectly fine, because I was like, you know what, I'm supposed to do 100 straight days through, but I'm like limping, I got a hitch in my giddy up over here at 40. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll take the weekend off. So I did take the weekend off, and it was hard as frick to get back to it today. It's Monday now, and so it's so hard to get back to it, but I did. I did the workout this morning. You'll see some clips of that probably this Friday on my day in the life of. But I almost died. I sent my family several pictures of me on the floor or drooling or sweating from my kneecaps or some other really cool thing to send your family, especially your kids. I will tell you this, I was super diligent to track. Remember back on that week 1 video where I kind of reviewed my first week, and if you haven't seen that, you can totally check that out right here, my week 1 video. It's got some really great tips in it, some information. I mean, as I'm learning or stumbling and breaking my face, I'm literally sharing that super directly with you guys, so you'll be able to see kind of what happened then. But first 2 or 3 days of starting this ketogenic lifestyle, I was like, I ain't tracking. I ain't trying to type in to a phone what I'm eating all the time or have somebody tell me what to do. Keto is one of those diets where I don't need to know my macros, and to some degree that's true. But I decided about day 4 when I couldn't get into keto, and I know sometimes it takes people 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months. I get it. Everybody's different. I am super impatient. So when Allison, my middle kiddo, was at like a 2.29 millimoles in her blood units, that's how many ketones were in there, which is like deep in the heart of ketosis. I mean, 1.5 millimoles to 3 millimoles is like, this is your sweet spot that you want to be in weight loss. And 0.5 to 1.5 millimoles is light ketosis. So you're in it and you may be losing a little bit of weight, but you're not like you ain't in the full part of the run. You're just getting your shoes on. And so I kept staying, and 0.5 below, it means you're not in ketosis yet. You need to make some adjustments. But those are great measurements, by the way, to do your blood tests. The P test and the breath test, they're okay, but I've checked all three each day, and the breath test and the P test are usually pretty far off from what the blood test actually shows. So it's been kind of interesting. But she was deep in it and I wasn't. I thought, okay, I'm going to start tracking, because obviously I'm not staying under 20 carbs a day. 20 net carbs a day is what I've been doing. And a net carb is just taking your total carbs on the nutritional information on the back of a package and subtracting out the fiber. Your body can't process that anyway, so you can subtract that out, and that's your net carbs. So I stay at 20 net carbs or less a day. There's so many different things out on the interwebs. I don't even know if we call them interwebs anymore. There's so many things out there on the web that, you know, you can stay under 25, you can stay under 50. You need to do your own research and figure out what's best for you. Or you could just do a biohacking, right? You could just biohack yourself, which means do some experimentation on yourself. So try 50 net carbs a day. And if you're not losing weight or not feeling better or you're not in ketosis, pull it down to 30, or start at 20 and then go up if you want to. That's up to you. But I'm just sticking to the 20 or less. And so I've been super diligent to track. So check this crap out, right? My favorite thing in the whole world is a large diet lemonade from Chick-fil-A. Sorry, I'm thinking about it now. I'm not even here anymore. Like having an out-of-body experience drinking this lemonade. So large Chick-fil-A diet lemonade. So freaking good. I mean, like over the top good. This does not taste diet at all. So anyways, I've been drinking them forever, and then I was having some issues with my chest, thinking it was acid reflux. Jacob was like, hey, you should probably lay off of those, and Allison decided, oh yeah, Mom, you should too. So it was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a chance. So I did lay off of them and a few other things that may cause heartburn, and I feel much better. But I've been missing my diet lemonades. Now, I'm not drinking them every single day, but I was getting to where I was trying to get one every other day or something like that. Like, let's just take a trip to Target so I can get a Chick-fil-A, like, not even interested in Target. So this diet lemonade, I'm drinking it actually the first 4 or 5 days in this new plan, this new lifestyle plan. And then on day 4, when I decided to start tracking, is when everybody got all up in my case about the fact that I don't need to be drinking lemonade if I have chest pains for acid reflux. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll drop them. So when I started tracking, I stopped drinking the lemonade. So a couple days ago, I told Jacob, I said, hey, look, I'm feeling really good. Now, I've been on a Prilosec treatment too. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not making any claims here. I'm simply just telling you like what I did. So Prilosec is a 14-day program that you go on to clear up your acid reflux. So I go on this program, and I told Jacob, I said, it's been about 5 days that I've been on it. I said, hey, I'm feeling really good. I want to test out and biohack if it's the diet lemonade. And he said, I don't think that's a good idea. And I said, well, I think it's a really good idea. And he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So he took me to give me this diet lemonade. I get it. I take the straw off. This is like food porn sexy time. It's so good. So I take a couple of drinks of it, and I'm like, this is the best thing in the whole entire world. Like, it is so delicious. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and track it. And he's like, you don't need to track it, right? Because I mean, it's a diet lemonade, so you know, it's not like there's anything in it. It's diet. And I was like, yeah, that's probably true, but might as well go ahead and put it in here. Guys, 21 net carbs. Did you hear me? 21. I'm saying under 20. This freaking drink is 21 net carbs. Like hidden up in the slushy ice and in the delicious flavors of this diet lemonade. And then I started thinking about it logically, because I'm a pretty smart person, at least from my own perspective. I'm thinking, shouldn't you have known that lemons being squeezed into a juice would have carbs in them? Yes, I should have. I should have, but I didn't. So this is the reason why I didn't get into ketosis quickly. I was drinking 21 net grams of carbs in a diet lemonade. Plus, remember, if you'll remember, I was eating 8 grams of Chewies, which again, video 1, right? I was eating 8 grams of Chewies in vitamin form. Vitamins in Chewy form. Let me flip that around for us. Yeah, so I'm literally getting 30 grams of net carbs before I even put anything in my mouth. Like, psychotic. So please, 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 if you're not getting into ketosis and you're trying to, you need to step back and do some serious investigative work on what you're putting into your mouth, whether you're eating it or drinking it or taking a vitamin or mineral. Just do some research on those net carbs. If I had not been tracking, which again, I still feel like, tracking, but if I had not been tracking, like, I would have continued to drink those diet lemonades and not had any clue that I had doubled my net carbs from where I wanted to be. So check it out. So this week we did some really cool recipes that you'll get to see. We figured out fathead pizza, which was fantastic. I'll leave it to the video because I talk about it quite a bit in there. But we also took that same fathead dough and made kolaches, the Texas version of kolaches. And I know I've mentioned this on my intro video. If you want to check out my intro video to see who I am and what I'm up to, feel free. It'll be up here. But those fathead kolaches are that pizza dough, and then we put it in the fridge for a little while, and then we roll it, we roll sausages into it, and it becomes this breakfast, almost sandwich. It's like a little breakfast sandwich, a kolache, a Texas version. The Czechs brought kolaches over to Texas. Texas kept them and made them sausage kolaches. Originally, they're just made with fruit, and then they didn't share them with anybody. So we're from Texas originally, and we're like, what in the world do we eat for breakfast? So that's what my bakery is all about, that we're going to open in about a month, is we're going to have Texas and Czechoslovakian style kolaches there, plus a bunch of other stuff. So anyways, fathead kolaches and fathead pizza. Also put together this little appetizer for me and Allie. We were starving and about to eat our hands off because we're carnivores and it's keto. And so I had cucumbers, and then I had some cream cheese and goat cheese. And I'll just whip the cheeses together for a really strong, delicious flavor. I put some salt in it, garlic salt. So you'll get to check that out. It's a little appetizer to keep us you know, not super hangry. And then the last one is I did a keto sausage ball, which was fantastic for taking to parties or events or anything that you do with your family. If you need something for them to eat, we ate them for breakfast, we ate them for lunch, we ate them for dinner, all in the same day. All in the same day. Totally made them, and the whole pan was gone. So you'll get to see that recipe coming up this week too. I think you're gonna love it. So here's some of the tips and tricks that I took from this week, and some of the things I realized just to share my journey. One is, if I'm not hungry, I'm not eating. Now, if the family's there and it's like everybody's eating and it's just time to eat, okay, fine. But if it's me during my day, like I'm a writer and I own 6 companies, and so I'm always doing something at my desk or at the restaurant, or I'm at a meeting with someone, whether it's Zoom or in person. And so I just have gotten to the point where I wasn't hungry several times this week, which is one of the best things about the ketosis lifestyle, is that you start to lose that extreme hunger. And those electrolytes help tremendously with that too. That was such a huge help, not to be hungry all the time. And I wasn't hungry at all. And I said, hey, if you're not hungry and it's not a big meal where family's there or whatever, and even then you don't have to, but for me, it was like, hey, if you're hungry and it's just you don't have to eat. Like, you're perfectly good. The only time I thought to myself, I'm gonna make sure I get a meal in even if I'm not hungry, was when I was gonna start a fast. So if I knew I wasn't gonna eat until maybe dinner the following day, like try to do a 24 hour fast, I definitely ate that night before. Like, I didn't go into my fast starving. But one good option might be to just start your fast early. So if, let's say you have breakfast and lunch and then you're like, dude, I ain't hungry for dinner, then why don't you start your fast at lunch and let it go from lunch to lunch instead of having a fast? You know, this is totally up to you, but just think about it. You could shift your fast backwards, you know, and not start the next morning, but start at lunchtime that current day. Or if you're intermittent fasting, you could totally start it at lunch and then go the whole next day, and then you get a really long fast. What is that, 36 hours? So just do the math. But like I said, one of the things I gave myself some grace on this week was, hey, if I'm not hungry, like, I don't have to eat. One of the other things I noticed, and I always used to hate when people say this, exercise in the morning. I'm like, yeah, because you're a morning person. I'm not a morning or a night person. I'm like middle of the day person. I'm like 10 to 5, you got me. But otherwise, you don't. So I did find out though that exercising in the morning was a lot better. I wasn't as tired, I wasn't as crabby, and I actually did the exercise with like full force effort. So exercising in the morning is actually a really good thing, and doing it fasted even helped my ketone levels. Like, I tested a little bit this last week to see what were the millimoles of ketones in my blood if I exercised before and after, and so it actually added a few extra points, went up the scale. So That was super exciting. We only ate out 2 times this week. One time we ate out at Bonefish, which is kind of like a steakhouse, but it's a fish house. So it's a fish house that has steak and pork chops and chicken, like a grill. And it was just me and Jacob. I just needed some time with him, so we stole a lunch date in the middle of the day. And I had a Caesar salad. Excuse me. I had a Caesar salad. No croutons, extra dressing, which I know you guys, if you've watched me at all, know that's one of my go-tos to start. And then I had pork chops. I had a big pork chop with fontina cheese and mushrooms all over it, and I got a side of broccoli. And I ate probably 2/3 of the pork chop and a little bit of the broccoli. It wasn't exactly cooked the way I like, and I was like, fine, like I don't need it. I don't need the extra vegetables. I was trying to shove them in week 1, and then I realized, oh, I'm pushing my net carb limit pretty bad here, because I like vegetables, but I don't love them. So I was like, let me just eat more of my pork chop. So you don't just have to get steak. Like I sometimes just fall into that trap. If you get chicken, you may want to have chicken that they add like cheese and bacon or something a little bit more fatty too, or ask for a side of butter to put on your chicken. But for the pork chop, it had a little bit of fat, but not a lot. So I was really thrilled to have the fontina cheese on top of it. And then I did order a side of butter to eat with my broccoli, but I ended up eating it on my pork chop. So just make sure you're getting in all those healthy fats that you should if you go with a leaner white meat, like, you know, a center cut pork chop or chicken. The second place we ate out this week was actually at Uncle Julio's, which is a Mexican restaurant up in Brentwood. It's about a 25-30 minute drive for us, but it's my son's favorite place to get Mexican food. Every time we ask him, where do you want to go eat, he says, I want Mexican food. So we're from Texas, and there was 100 different Mexican food places to choose from. But here in Franklin, there's quite a few that are mom and pop ones, but the ones that we're used to, there's only 2 that we really go to. So we go to Uncle Julio's. And I knew on the way there, Mexican is one of those places for me where it's like, I fall off the track completely. I eat 6 bags of chips. I inhale queso, and the queso is not really the big deal. I want a margarita, like real bad. So it's just always a tough thing, but I always hate the fact that the diet has to impinge on my son. So it's like, okay, I had to make a decision, and the decision was not going to Mexican, or if we're going to Mexican, you've got to stop by. I told my husband, you've got to stop by the gas station and pick me up some pork rinds, because I want to eat the dips too while you guys are eating the dips. So just stop by and get me some pork rinds and we'll be fine. So he did. We went by and got pork rinds, and I had pork rinds with cheese and had the whole experience with them. And then Jacob and I ordered a fajita plate with beef, chicken, and bacon wrapped shrimp on it. And I had a little bit. I wasn't even that hungry after eating half the bag of pork rinds. So might be an option for you. I've done this several times where I'll get a small bag of pork rinds, or if I have some at home, I'll put them in a baggie. And even though it sounds weird, you just shove them in your purse, and when you get there, you just pull them out. Nobody has to know the difference. And I got a Diet Coke with several pieces of lime and just squeezed it in there, and it was delicious. And then shared the fajitas without all of the carblicious stuff that comes with them, kind of shoved that over to Jacob's side, and it was awesome. So I totally made it work for me, and I won't do it all the time because I know that chips are a weakness, but I can do it some of the time to kind of respect and love on my kiddos' wishes to go to have Mexican food again. The thing is, I know a lot of times, you know, we as moms, we as working women, we as all the above, we don't have a lot of time. So I went to Sam's and got me some of those ready-made Caesar salads. I was going to show you one, but I've obviously plowed through all of them. So please forgive past me for my hunger issues. But all I was going to tell you is just a tip or trick. If you're busy all the time and you think, man, I can't do this because I don't have time to cook all these recipes that somehow crazy ass Lori is cooking all the time, that's okay. You're seeing 4 recipes out of how many meals, right? Like, no, a lot of the meals are things like we have a bunch of keto snacks on hand, you know, pork rinds and the different cheeses and meats and cream cheese and pickles and olives and avocados. And so a lot of it just looks like a weird smorgasbord and a pasta platter that we eat. But the tip is to go to the grocery store and just spend a little bit of time, if you're able, to look through those ready bowls of salad, and the Caesar salad ones and the chicken bacon ranch ones. Just flip it over and check to see what the net carbs are. And if there's something that, you know, you're willing to sustain in your net carb values, your calculations, just go ahead and get it. Like if it's 5 to 10 net carbs for me, I'm like, that's good. I'm gonna grab me that and have it. And just make sure you check the serving size. Those bowls should just be 1 serving, but just triple check that it's not 10 net grams of carbs, and then all of a sudden you get home and you only get half of that baby bowl. That would be a very sad day, and you'd be very unhappy with me. If you have any lunch ideas too, by the way, if you'll put those in the comments below, I would really love to see what you guys are doing for lunch or on the go, or if you have a favorite restaurant and you want to share what you get there every time to kind of help the community, that would be super awesome. I would totally love that. Okay, lastly, before I go, I will show you my weight. I know it's crazy, but I actually did lose 2 pounds this week. So for the first week, 2 pounds this week is a 6 pound weight loss. I'll be doing my measurements next week on week 4, start of week 4, end of week 3 video. So I'm going to kick in my measurements just to kind of see, because I could see in my pictures some change. And 6 pounds is a lot, but I'm thinking most of it came off of my belly, which is where I carry all of my weight. Well, the majority of it. I have a little bit in my back and in my face. My mom's like, oh, your face is getting thinner. I was like, yes, thank goodness. My mom does not sound like that, by the way. I don't even know why I did that. Okay, so the last thing before I go is I found 2 snacks. Some of you may already know these, but I'll show them to you. This is Lily's dark chocolate almonds, no sugar added. It's 150 calories. The serving size is 1 ounce. 150 calories, 13 grams of fat, 9 grams of carbs, and dietary fiber is 5. So now we've got net carbs of the 9 total minus the fiber of 5, which is 4. So 4 grams of net carbs. And you're like, how much is an ounce? Because I'm the same way. I'm like, who knows how much an ounce of these are? I mean, how many almonds do I get is all I want to know. I did measure it for us, and for me on my scale, my food scale, it is 12 almonds. So I counted out 12 almonds and put it in my little MyFitnessPal, and it was great. I had 4 net carbs, and I ate on them for like the whole day. I just put them on my desk and treated them like you might an M&M. These are available supposedly at Walmart and Kroger's, most major grocery stores, and Scouts. I got them at like a little one-off type Scouts grocery store, but feel free to look for them. I know that Lily's is getting more and more popular. The other one is still Lily's milk chocolate style peanut butter cups. The almonds were fantastical. These were okay. I would say they very much have like the protein powder taste, to where you're like, something's a tad bit off. This doesn't taste like racist. This one is 2 pieces of these. The almonds are just open, so it's got a closed zip and you just pull an almond right out. These actually are in little packages. So you get 2 pieces for 130 calories, 11 fat grams, 15 carbs, dietary fiber is 6, so we've got a net carb of 9 for 2 of them, or 4.5 for 1. So that's not too bad. I mean, like, it's 4 for the almonds, and it's 4.5 for the peanut butter cup. So it's kind of like, man, this is kind of great to have a chocolate snack. Again, I loved it. It was great. I will be eating the entire bag, but just be prepared. It does have a little bit of a protein powder feel to it, which I said. So you guys have a fantastic week. I can't thank you enough for coming by and checking me out. We are setting up a ketone-tastic community on Facebook so that we can share recipes and have more of an intimate conversation. I love YouTube to death, but I do want to start a group to where I can have some community and make some friends and go through this journey together. If you're excited at all or interested at all in what me and the fam is up to, please make sure you hit that subscribe button right there. And if you want to, there's a notification bell. I used to always struggle to find that. It's right next to the subscribe button. I don't know why I thought it was hiding out, because it's not. But if you want to hit that notification bell, all that does is it will let you know when we upload new things, whether it's, you know, information, tips and tricks, reviews, recipes. But we are working hard over here to try to get some really great content out to you guys. I am a romance writer by trade. Well, I'm a CPA by trade, and then I became a romance writer. And so we have 50,000 women on my romance list. We're always in the top 100 with the books. My brother is one now too. I've trained him over the last few years. But the best thing about that job, that career, that calling, that art is that I have a community. And so it's been really great to get to know them and love on them and answer those emails for the last 6 or 7 years. And I just want to expand that. I just want to make sure that my life, at the end of my life, has been worth something to other people too, that we've put out some hope, that we've given some inspiration, that we've been really good to other people. So I hope you'll join us there. I'll have the link below for that ketone-tastic community, and you'll come be a part of it and just share part of your journey too. I would absolutely love that. But for now, I hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for the time that you've spent with me. See you later.